Hi, I'm Mike, and you're watching Spiritual Combat, and the title of this episode is Where Are Your Beliefs Coming From? Okay, and this will be a pretty interesting show, but a lot of people don't realize how brainwashed they are by media and society and stuff like that. And in this video, I'm gonna bring out a couple things to show you the level of brainwashing. The level that it's at now, and the things that you don't know have been strategically set up for a lot of times for marketing reasons and stuff like that. A lot of your beliefs are the results of strategic marketing campaigns. Believe it or not, a lot of the stuff you know of. So there's a guy. His name is Edward Bernays or Bernays. And I'll just go ahead and play the video, and I'll let you see for yourself. But I'll let you watch the video, but you're gonna begin to see why God said, beware of the wiles of the devil. We'll go over that scripture after the video. So let me get it up here. Okay. And let's go.
Here are the facts. Public opinion is big business. As of 2011, there were more than 7,000 public relations firms in the United States alone. These companies work on behalf of corporations, trade organizations, or individuals who hope to put a positive spin on their image. Whether it's a celebrity trying to salvage his or her reputation after a meltdown, a musician promoting an album, or a business combating negative press, chances are you've recently encountered PR work and you might not have known. There's no denying the importance of this multi-billion-dollar industry, but what exactly is it? How does it work? And who invented it? Here's where it gets crazy. The art of modern public relations can be generally traced to one man, Edward Bernays. There were other earlier innovators, but none altered the social landscape of North America as profoundly. Born in Vienna, Austria in 1891, Bernays' family moved to New York City about a year after his birth. He was the nephew of Sigmund Freud, and like his uncle, Bernays was captivated by the convoluted processes of the human mind. Bernays often consulted his uncle's work, and he was the first to incorporate psychology and other social sciences into PR. Yet where Freud sought to uncover motivations, Bernays sought to mask them, and Bernays' clients were companies rather than individuals. For example, one of his early cases involved Lucky Strike cigarettes in the 1920s. The American Tobacco Company asked him to expand sales. Women would be an ideal market, but there were problems. First, women didn't care for the green packaging of Lucky Strikes, and the manufacturer concluded that changing the color was too expensive. Second, it was taboo for women to smoke in public. Bernays took a unique approach to these obstacles. First, he recommended that if the packs must stay green, they should make green the premier color of the fashion season. During his Green Ball campaign, Bernays convinced French designers to incorporate green into their latest fashion lines, and not just any green, but the specific dark green shade of Lucky Strike packaging. He also engineered a green gala at the Waldorf Astoria, featuring some of society's most prominent tastemakers. To address the problem of smoking in public, he linked Lucky Strike cigarettes to the women's liberation movement, arranging for young women to march down Fifth Avenue, smoking and calling the cigarettes torches of freedom. Instead of appearing to sell cigarettes, this seemingly spontaneous march appeared to be a part of the struggle for gender equality. Suddenly, Lucky Strike cigarettes didn't just have packaging that matched the latest Parisian fashions, they also made a statement about women's equality. It's easy to see how these associations could skew market opinion, and the campaign was enormously successful. If you're like most people, then you probably assume that you know where your opinions come from. And if you're like most people, you're probably wrong. Humans tend to think of each belief as the result of a rational analysis.
Okay, so you can see there, and there's two more parts to that video there, and in the other part, it talks about how prior to this guy, people didn't eat bacon and eggs for breakfast. He brought that into existence. People having bacon and eggs for breakfast. Prior to that, breakfast wasn't a big meal, but like, you have to watch the other video, but the dairy industry came in and said, hey, we struggling. We need to sell more of this bacon, this, that, and the other. And they went to him, and they go through it in the video. He launched some type of campaign and got people eating bacon and eggs for breakfast. And that's what everybody does now, unless you a Hebrew. But anyway, that shows you how subtle and underhanded that they are with this stuff. Another important thing to learn about is the Tavistock Institute, and it's basically like an institute that was out there in Europe that basically studied how to manipulate the masses. Okay, and they've used, I think Everett Bernays used their stuff too, but they use what they found to sell wars to people and everything. So it's crazy. But this Tavistock Institute, a lot of stuff has come out of it. What's it called? I forget what that program's MK Ultra program with brainwashing people and stuff like that came out of Tavistock. So a lot of big things. And the funny thing is, you could go on Amazon and look how much the book. This is a volume of books. $17,000 for this book, and the reason why it's so expensive is because it shows you what they found, the research and the information they found in their research. I'll read to you the script. It says, the Tavistock Institute holds a unique place in the development of the social and behavioral sciences. Established in 1947, the focus of the organization has always been on the study of human relations in the context of the family, the work group, and the larger organization. So anyway, and this is the book from that, and it's $17,000. And the reason it's so expensive is because they don't want you to know what they're using on you. You read through all them books, you're going to realize, you're going to see exactly how they're manipulating you. Okay? So, but you don't need to pay $17,000 to know how Satan's manipulating you. You could get that book right there behind me, the Word of God, for a lot cheaper, and you'll know exactly, you'll know all Satan's moves, and you'll know how to dodge them too. Okay? So anyway, I'm going to play this video, just part of it, about the Tavistock Institute. Okay, so here we go.
Go into some context. What is the Tavistock Institute? Well, in 1947, the Tavistock Institute was formed to pull information from the social sciences, psychology, sociological studies, etc. I know what you're thinking. So what? Well, this is the first sign that something is wrong. And have a look at the next part. Since, although you've probably never heard of the Tavistock Institute, the Tavistock Institute operates with a $16 billion a year network of foundations within the United States. That is, all those foundations which are intertwined with the Tavistock Institute are paid for and funded by US taxpayer money. So think about that for a moment. This is a think tank based in London, but it has proxy money coming in through America. But where does the taxpayers' money go? Well, that brings us to number 4. A number of researchers have stated that all Tavistock and American Foundation techniques have a single goal, and that is to break down the psychological strength of the individual and render him helpless to oppose those in control. Any technique which helps to break down the family unit and family accumulated principles, that is religion, honor, patriotism, and sexual behavior, is used by Tavistock scientists as weapons of crowd control. Now, I know that you might be taken back a bit by that, and you might say, well, if this Tavistock...
Okay, so, it's going into it's a good video if you watch the whole thing, but I just wanted you to see that little bit there because, like, Satan is a deceiver, okay? And the people he's working through don't realize that Satan is giving them these so-called ideas they get. They think they're ideas. All they are is suggestions from the spirit world, from Satan. And it's funny how the agenda of these places like Tavistock and Bernays, their agenda is the exact same as Satan's agenda in the Bible, to break down the family and do all. You saw some of the stuff, and that's like a 9-minute video. It's called 5 Dark Things About the Tavistock Institute. Here, I'll put it up there. See, this is the video right here. You should watch it. And there's plenty of videos you can see right here. There's plenty of videos about Tavistock, okay? And and then the other thing is, and you can look a lot deeper into who funds it. Like that Tavistock is over in Europe, but our government funds it. Okay? Our government contributes money, huge amounts of money to Tavistock. Okay? So just look into that. It's a lot of interesting stuff to study, and you begin to see what's really going on around you. It's like Neo waking up in the Matrix. Okay? So let's go to this verse. It's Ephesians chapter 6, verse 11 through 12. It says, "Put on the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil." Okay? And wiles, let me make this bigger. Wiles, or wile, means a trick, artifice, or stratagem meant to fool, trap, or entice, device. Wiles, artful or beguiling behavior, deceitful, cunning, tricky, or trickery. Okay? So that you'll be able to stand against that. You have to, in order to stand against that, you have to put on the armor of God to stand against this stuff. Because what was I was saying? This is a spiritual thing. It says, "For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places." Okay? And these people, like you saw the agenda of the Tavistock, their agenda is just spiritual wickedness. It's to destroy you. They think they're just marketing and controlling the masses and this, that, and the other, but they don't realize they're doing Satan's work because he's a master deceiver. Okay? And the reason I'm harping on this is because I'm always harping and telling people, hey, stop watching TV, man. Be careful watching all these movies and television shows, and be careful with this media and having it in your house, especially as a man, because while you're telling your family one thing, the media is behind your back telling them something totally different. It's telling them to go against you because they want to crush the man. They know once the man's done with, they could come on in. They can bind the strong man and come in and plunder your house. Okay? Keep that thing out. And I'm trying to show you exactly what they're doing. Look into MK Ultra. Look into that Tavistock. Okay? Watch the rest of those videos about Bernays. Okay? I need to go in deeper on it because this is how they undermine your authority as a man in your house and deceive everybody into thinking you're the bad guy or whatever it is. Deceive your kids into thinking that the parents are the bad people. Okay? All right. So this is Proverbs chapter 4, verse 23. It says, keep thy heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life. So it's like, guard yourself, guard your spirit, guard it, man, because that's what they're trying to get at. Okay? They're trying to twist you up. All right? This is 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 8. Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour. Okay? I have a good article up here I just kind of glanced over. And it says, broken dreams and financial illusions, the secret depression of black men. So, I read that and I was like, oh, I'm going to have to read up on that. Okay. So let me see if I can make this bigger. Here we go. That's as big as I think. I'm going to just kind of try to glance over this. But it says, there's a secret depression that is rooted in economics that many black men battle. It is hidden underneath an absorbent layers, including an extravagant bravado, drug and alcohol abuse, misdirected anger, and other forms of destructive behavior. Fantastical illusions are also a tool that is deployed to cope with the humbling realities of an often marginalized existence. So, basically the long or the short of this, and they showing this movie here that Denzel was in. Me and my wife watched it, and it's just, it kind of tripped me out. So there was a lot there, but basically what that article was saying is that our black men, and it's true, black men have these dreams of being a sports athlete. Majority, you talk to black men, if you had to talk to me years ago, you would have heard the same thing come out of my mouth. Hey, I'm going to be a rapper. Hey, I'm going to be a basketball player. That was my thing. I secretly aspired for that. And in the meantime, by the time graduation came, it went. Then a year went by, I hadn't done nothing. I had a job at Burger King. And I'm just floating around in the zone like, hey man, what just happened? Like high school came and went, and now I'm just out here floating, and nobody's asked me what I want to do because at the time my family was falling apart. So, and one of my friend's fathers, he was like, what are you going to do? He's like, if you stay out here running around these streets, you're just going to be another thug. He's like, you need to figure out what you want to do. He's like, why don't you go in the Air Force? I was in the Air Force. I was like, okay. And then here I am 20 years later, and it turned out to be a good decision. I don't recommend that nowadays because there's a lot of. I'm getting ready to do a video on career choices, so I'm not gonna go into all that. But I don't recommend the military now. But what was marketed to me my whole life was sports, being a thug, a drug dealer, or something like that, and rap. Through the rap, being a drug dealer in sports was marketed to me. And then on TV, sports was marketed to me. Like that was all that was pushed at the youth. You know? It wasn't, hey, you could become a web app designer. That's the one I say all the time now because it's in super high demand. You don't even need a college education. You apply yourself hardcore for like a year of studying on your own, and you could go get a job within about 2 years. You could get a job in web app design, making six figures. You'll be making 70,000 starting out, but within about 4 years or something, you can be making doctor's money. Okay, but you do some research and there's stuff out there, but we always gravitate to these same pipe dreams, and your chances of becoming a basketball player, it's like 1 in a million or something insane like that. Your chance of becoming a web app designer or becoming, a A&P mechanic for the airlines, for the national airlines, the major airlines, and making big money doing that. It's like 1 in 10, 1 in 5. You know what I'm saying? Like, you do some searching and ask yourself, hey, what I like doing, and do a couple things. A real estate, a rental property investor. Your chances of becoming that are probably like 1 in 2, 1 in 3. Your chance of becoming a rapper are like 1 in a million, and your chance of becoming a successful rapper are even less than that. How many successful rappers are there who are eating well? You got Jay-Z and a couple people you can name, and even them, to make their money, they still got to get on the road, and it's a long shot. But that's what's marketed to us, and that's part of the deception. What I'm saying is this is by design. You need to do your research on the COINTELPRO program, counterintelligence program, COINTELPRO. Just look it up online. It's a program they did to us to keep us down, And but this stuff is marked. The reason why that's you aspire to be that is because it was marketed to you. Okay, they're not putting stuff in front of you. They know your family broken. They know you ain't got no father there to give you guidance on what to do. So they know you're gonna bite on that. What they know your father is gonna be the hip hop and the basketball player. They know that's what it's gonna be. The part of one of the roles of the father in the house is to give identity to everybody. So yeah, so, and I could just go back, to when I was young. It was like the influence of that music was so heavy on me and drove so much of who I was and what I did and who I thought I was. It was so destructive in my life, man. It's under them curses. So you got to snap out of that, man. And it's my job, being where I am now, is my job to snap people out of that. And luckily me, I went in the Air Force and began to get a new identity of who I was and see what was out there, because I began traveling the world and seeing what was out there and what there is to do and how to start a career for real, and what it meant. But it took years, man. And God, it took God, just because even like now I have the wisdom to figure a career out. But back then, I still made some decisions that if I had went with them, they would have been bad ideas. It would have had a bad turnout. So, you know, praises to God for just guiding my way through that, you know, because having him in there that's the first thing, you know, having that standard, being in this word. But and that's gonna get you out of thinking hip hop is, you know, oh, that's my identity, or oh, I'm gonna be a basketball player. Or the worst one is, hey, I'm gonna be a football player. And all these kids getting pushed into football, and now these kids by the time they get to high school, they've had concussions and traumas to their head that are gonna affect them their whole life. Like that one Hall of Fame defensive back recently, it looks like, I haven't followed up on the story, but it looked like he committed suicide in Orlando. And he was like 50 something years old, and they were talking about his career. Yeah, he was a hard hitting this, that, and the other. Dude, when you run into another man who weighs 200 pounds full speed, it is worse than getting punched in the head. It hurts. It's like getting punched with a big, huge fist the size of your whole body. That's what it's like, running into people like that. And these people do it as a career and a whole life, and they lose their mind doing it. That's Satan. You will lose your spirit running into people, getting brain damage. You know, the word needs to be put out on that. I don't support football, man. I really don't get caught up in any of these sports anymore. I be in this word, man, because everything is designed to disempower you. You know what I'm saying? To keep you. They want to stop you from doing what I'm doing right now, waking your people up and leading them to something good and right. If they got you banging your head into another man, getting concussions to the point where you can't think straight, that's good, because that way you ain't gonna come up to be a King David or something like that. Because it only takes one person to wake folks up. It don't take a whole bunch of people. So they go above and beyond. Satan goes above and beyond to make sure, not, you know, he don't want one to slide through, because he know that's all it takes. So anyway, I hope this video was informative. Check out some of my other videos. Share this video, put up comments and stuff like that. I'm on YouTube, Spiritual Combat, and I'm on Facebook, Spiritual Combat page. So check out the videos, share them, get the word out, ask questions, and have a nice day.